coordinate. Which, you know what, kind of sums up being an actor half the time. We're just living in our own little imaginary worlds. So anyways, I was in prep for directing, and there was a ton of rain, a huge, like, 100-year-old tree fell down the street, and it took all of the, oh, that's cute too, all of the power lines with it. Yeah, like it ripped out the power lines from the transformers. If anyone knows what all this is, our lines, our electrical lines are above ground in Los Angeles, and so one of the lines in the back of my house remained hot, and oh, it's a cute little crown. And so one of the lines remained hot. It touched, I mean, this happened in seconds. It touched the guest house. I didn't know technically any of this was happening. This cowboy hat and mustache might be my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just need like a accent or something, you know? Just a little country. Anyways, I was sitting here prepping my episode, and in the background, just the whole sky lit up white. And then I started to see, I have a guest house in the back of my property, and the guest house, there started to be flames. And so because I think I'm an actual firefighter, because I play a firefighter, I decided to grab one of the 4 fire extinguishers I have in my house, because be prepared. And I grabbed a fire extinguisher, and I went out there. It was raining, let me remind you guys. And so I went out there to put it out. Like, I'm trying not to get into details because this story could probably go on for an hour. Basically what happened is I went out there, idiotic thing. I love this hat so much. Every time it comes on, I'm going to have an accent. I got electrocuted by like what was coming out of that transformer, as people know, would have killed me. So obviously it was taken down in voltage by the time I interacted with it to some extent. I don't understand electricity like this, so anyone who does, please chime in. But anyways, I touched what was a marble counter connected to steel L brackets, and it threw me back and electrocuted me. And then I stood up once I kind of got my bearings and realized, oh shit, this is a bad idea. Went into the house, or no, that was the first time. And then I fell down, got back up. Then I grabbed the marble countertop. Sorry, I tell the story so many times I've forgotten. First time was me pulling apart this, yeah, see, every time this comes on. First time was me pulling apart the light strings above the pool, which was a really dumb idea, guys. There's electricity sparking from something, and my brain goes, let me unplug that thing, because once I unplug it, you guys, I'm just gonna keep it up, because once I unplug that thing, the fire will start, and instead I electrocuted myself. Then when I got up from that electrocution is when I touched the marble countertops and with the L brackets, and it threw me back. And then I woke up from that and was like, oh no, what is happening? Yes, these are very cool. And was like, I need to get in the house. This isn't a smart idea. It's water and there's some sort of electrocution. I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. I just was like, fire, put the fire out. And yeah, so I got electrocuted. I had to go to the hospital. I went back in and I did put out the fire. My guest house would have burned to the ground. And the most infuriating part is, and the stressful thing is I had just finished building this guest house. So it's February, 4 months prior. So I think there was a visceral reaction to the fact that I would put so much time, energy, money, and love into building this guest house that I was so happy about. And just so everyone understands the extent, is all the electrical things were fried. These are so cool too. All the electrical things in the guest house were fried, had to be replaced. There's, like, where the electricity came out are big black holes, and all the drywall was blown off the walls. So it was a really intense thing. So anyways, that happened. I'm gonna try to stay focused, guys. This is gonna be tough with TikTok with everything happening. Let me see, I'll see some of the questions. I wanna get to questions. That's the electrocution story. I kinda gave the summed up version. Oh, very nice. That kind of goes pretty fast, but I did have to go to the hospital and be observed for a day because I didn't know this, that electrocution, technically, I guess you have to be watched. It's a more, it takes time for your body to fully start showing the effects. Besides, like, I didn't have an exit wound, for those that maybe do know this better than I do. But it went through my arms this way and came out the other arm, is how it felt. And completely threw my body back. It released me. And that was the other thing too, is the firefighters taught me, I like this hat, is that there's 2 types of electrocutions, the ones that grab you and you can't let go, and the ones that throw you. So I guess the one that throws you is better. But yeah, and I went to the hospital. That was on a Friday. By Saturday morning, I came back home and I told the storyboard artist that was working on the episode that I couldn't do a storyboard meeting, and continued directing my episode on Monday. and I'm live. Stupid, stupid, stupid. My advice, which everyone told me, is next time just let the guest house burn. Let it burn. Okay, I'm gonna go to some questions. If you were on the celebrity version of the Great British Bake Off, what would you want to bake? Now, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm obsessed with the Great British Bake Off, which I always call the Great British Baking Show, which is kind of just my thing now because that's what I like to call it. So that being said, I would probably, there's so many things I'd love to make just to learn how to cook all the things on that show, but for some reason, the thing that I find seems to be very you have to master it is, and I'm gonna say the word wrong, the profiterole? You guys know, who knows what I'm talking about? Oh, I love Bake Off so much. Thank you for liking this too. Let's see. If me and Ford had to do a Halloween costume deal, what would you go as? I think, because Ford is kind of, we've done the Wizard of Oz kind of vibe. He wasn't the Cowardly Lion, but that would be cute. But I think I would have to go with Beauty and the Beast. I think I'd have to be Belle and he'd have to be the Beast, all with his wonderful mane. Am I open to being on Grey's Anatomy? Yes. Any chance, and I've said this to Meg and over there on Grey's and everything, is that if any chance I have to put back on the Maya Bishop uniform and bring her back to life for one scene, one episode, whatever, I say yes. I 100% say yes. I would do it in a heartbeat. Just because Maya means so much to so many, including myself, but also I just really love playing her. So I would do it in a heartbeat. That was a great question. If you could press pause on your acting career for 1 year and design your ideal life during that time, anywhere during that time, anywhere during that time, anywhere during that time, anywhere in the world. I think that would be it's a wonderful dream that probably will never happen because it's just so much of a pivot. Maybe I could do it years from now, but it just feels like being able to be on a boat, which is my happy place, and travel the world and see everything, meet new people, go to, that for a year of my life by boat, because that is my favorite way to travel. If I could just travel everywhere by boat, and not cruise lines, by boat. Not a big boat. I like a catamaran, a sailboat, like a little yacht. That sounds so... listen, if I could have a really expensive yacht, if somebody billionaire wants to let me borrow a yacht, I would blow a bubble. I would happily do that. But that would be my ideal. Is there a piece of advice you once gave someone else that you now try to follow yourself? Everything. I feel like I feel like if I was going to say I give a lot of advice, sounds like I'm just walking around telling people what to do. I've experienced a lot and I'm very therapized, and so I feel like I have a lot to pass on of things that I had, and I feel like there's a lot of similarities with women of a certain age that you just go, I know what you're going through, I know what you've been through, and listen, what I can say is go easy on yourself, or what I can say is, you're worthy, you're enough, love yourself for yourself. These little things are hilarious. Oh, someone did that. I don't know what what's up means. What's up? Sent what's up? Sent rose. All the roses. Sorry, this is a lot, guys. Okay, focus. I started reading again. But yeah, I think almost every piece of advice I've given to someone else, it's been something I had to learn myself, and I think that's actually an ongoing, oh my God, this is amazing. You guys are never gonna get through this. And it's been 13 minutes. Every piece of advice I've ever given, I've really cherished as advice I try to tell myself. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to get to the point where I was like, oh, I'm worthy enough. I have self-respect and self-love and all those kind of things. And I think they're, things get tested, especially being in the acting industry. I'm sure it happens in a lot of people's things, but from my perspective in the acting industry, I mean, you're not pretty enough. You're too tall. You're too short. You're too whatever. You're too this. You're constantly having to really know your own worth and know that you're enough, because let alone from that perspective. And then when you're put out there, there's a lot of people with opinions. So really practicing those type of things, I think, is really important, because I always love the analogy too that, you can't help anyone else if you don't put on your, like, the oxygen mask on a plane thing first. So I really believe in that as well. Okay, and this is a lot. Girly, these people, wait, what? It's going so fast. Push-ups with me again. Yes, I would do push-ups with you again. Oh, heart. The filter is money. The filter is money? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. What? No. Gifts are money. Guys, don't do that. You don't need to give me money. They cost money. Don't do that. You don't have to do that. Stop spending money. Oh, a cat is lying. I guess I don't understand. I'm learning TikTok. You guys don't ever feel like if these gifts cost you something, please don't feel like, this is not, you don't have to. It's totally fine. Okay, got sidetracked. I'm going to focus. Okay, what does my morning routine usually look like? Okay, my morning routine. My morning routine is pretty strict, in the sense that, like, I wake up in the morning, and I wake up in the morning, duh. I usually drink, I have these, like, Sakara morning drops that I add to water. I make sure I drink a whole glass of water first thing in the morning. And then I make my coffee, which has adaptogens and powders and collagens and all that kind of stuff. So it's quite the process. So I really like to make sure I drink my glass of water, and I make my coffee, and then I make my bed, and then I kind of decide what to do from there. But those are probably the top three things. If there's dishes in the sink, which is usually unusual for the next morning, but if there's anything that needs to be washed, I will usually do that next. And then the kind of the day goes from there based on what has to be done, whether it's go to work out or go to shower or anything like that. So yeah. Oh, I can disable sending gifts, like, while I'm in the live. You guys, this is a lot. I'm sorry. No one gave me a heads up about this at the beginning. Okay, I'm just gonna go forward. Guys, you don't have to send me gifts. The cowboy thing was fun. I will say, all these, they're fun, but guys, okay, I'm going into your active TikTok era is everything, but when can we see you dance? I need to do a dance video for sure. I feel like I get a little subconscious doing one myself, and it's really hard to get people to want to do a dance video with you, to be honest. So I think that I want to do more TikTok dances. I know Sophie has sent me many that she's like, do this one. So I'm like, I don't know what to do, and then I don't do them because I kind of chicken out. So I will. The goal is to do more TikTok dance videos. I remember doing one back in the day with Barrett, which was so much fun. But that was like, we spent a whole day during the pandemic doing a TikTok dance, which was a lot of fun to do when we had all more time. Have I learned anything? Oh, from Kevin's acting approach or leadership on set. I learned a lot from. He was the first ever actor director I watched, and I learned a lot from him because it's very much two sides of your brain. Like, directing is still creative, but it's also very logistical in a lot of ways. Like, you're really having to keep, I guess your first AD is kind of the one that's keeping you. I do like the cowboy one, but guys, if this costs you money, please don't. You're fine. But that being said, I learned a lot as to how he was able to balance out both, and I thought that was really beneficial, because he doesn't actually do that thing that a lot of actor director do, which they need to watch every take after they're done, because they need to see what it looks like, and it really eats up a lot of time. And so what I learned from him is, like, he really trusts his crew, and he would film his scenes that he was acting in. He was able to be present in those, and then during the turnaround, which is when the cameras turn to the other side of the line, he will usually then look at playback. He will then look at playback, and so I thought that was really great, and just how he trusts the crew, and the crew loves him. Like, the crew really love him because he values their time. He works fast. He understands what isn't important to get what you can spend your time on more than other things. And he's directed the most episodes in Grey's Anatomy history, and so he's got a lot of knowledge. And specifically, what a lot of directors don't get is a lot of knowledge in how to direct one specific show, which is so important, because he really has this instinctual secondhand way. This is more, I say, not secondhand, but like this instinctual way of how he does it on Grey's, because he's been doing it for so long and has been a part of it for so long. So I learned a lot. Life contains themes that may find uncomfortable. Okay. I don't know what is happening. Someone said it's being restricted because of body. Am I showing? Oh, guys, stop it. You can't see anything. Maybe I'll get Kevin to do a dance with me, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. There's so many things. TikTok moves much faster than Instagram. I didn't realize that. So someone said, what do my tattoos mean? I have 3 tattoos. I have the one that's most important. The other ones, I just have. But the one behind my ear is a question mark. And it happened, I've never been able to explain it really eloquently, but someone when I was 12 years old when I was 12 years old, she had a question mark behind her ear, and I was at an audition. And I was like, what does that mean? That's so cool. I was a kid that was very curious and asked a lot of questions, and it kind of suit me. It did, at the time, it was interesting, and I didn't fully get it. She's like, basically just about how always continue to ask questions and be curious about life, and there's no such thing as a wrong answer. And she kind of explained it in this really eloquent way. And so when I was in my early 20s and going through a really tough time, I was like, this is what's important, is to constantly realize, like, we're constantly evolving and learning. And so, to continue to do that. And so it's kind of an all the time reminder, this question mark behind my ear. So yeah, I do love that. I don't actually, that's a great question. I don't think there's a single deleted Marina scene that didn't air. I think everything we shot always aired. Hi, Kim from Brazil. Again, I was saying on Instagram earlier too, it's amazing to see all the people from all over the world and how we can connect in this way. Whether it's helping me pick out outfits or getting to chat and answer your questions. It is different earrings, so for those that were on the other one, I switched out to these earrings instead. The other ones did not want to stay in my ears, so it was a quick switch, so I just went to red. I don't know, I think my favorite, someone said, what's your favorite Disney princess? I don't know. I don't know if Mulan is Mulan's a princess? She's a princess, right? Probably Mulan, I guess. I need like a list. Like sometimes when they say what's your favorite, I'm like, can you tell me all of them again? Because then I'll say something like, what about so-and-so? And I'm like, oh yeah. From the Philippines. Wow, this is crazy. So fast. Hi, Emily. I wonder why. Romania. Hi, Anna. Adriana, yeah. This is great, though. Everybody, what I love is, like, everybody from around the world is able to really connect, and I really love it. And for people that don't know, I'm someone who loves to travel, so it's great to see that, just, I don't know, it's international love and a really beautiful universe and community to be a part of, so. I tried to see if there's any other questions. Okay, let me go back to, these happen fast. Like, I wonder why these happen so fast. It's impressive how quickly these questions come in on TikTok. Congrats on voicing. Oh, yeah. Voicing Jenna. I voiced Jenna in Lucinda Berry's audio thriller. This is a safe space. And Someone said, how was the experience? What was the biggest challenge in conveying emotion through voice alone? Or did you find other things challenging? You know, it was interesting. It was I really loved not having to have the hair, the makeup, the wardrobe, and just getting to really live in my head. You know, read off a page. It's very challenging because, and Allison, the director, actually said it to me while we were doing it. She's like, listen, because it was my first one. She's like, you're going to think that you can't read. Like, you're gonna think and feel, you're like, can I not read? What is going on? Because you'll read a sentence and you'll get some words wrong, or you will stumble through it, or she's like, you'll say the sentence and I'll tell you said a word wrong and you won't even realize it. And so that didn't happen too much, but at the beginning it was definitely a learning curve. And so I really enjoyed that challenge. And by the end of it, I felt like I was like, okay, I'm ready for my next audiobook. Let's do this again. So yeah, I really enjoyed sitting in a room with my shoes off. It's probably why I'm also gravitate towards playing like these characters that you wouldn't normally get cast in with animated films and stuff. But I do, you know, there's a thing that is different in regards to like when you do put on the costume and the hair and makeup, it helps you add a different layer to a character that you can't do with audiobooks. And so yeah, so it had its elements, but for me, it was a wonderful, exciting challenge that I'd never experienced before, and so I would love to do another one. But I'm excited to see how you guys like this one, first and foremost. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, let's see. Which role has most transformed you as a person and why? I think, you know, it's probably Maya because I played her the longest, and so I actually was having this conversation with someone where I don't know if it was the act of portraying a character for 7 years that you know I really learned from her and grew from her, which I did, but also it's 7 years of my life, so a lot of my life changed in those 7 years. So it kind of happened simultaneously that both I was growing up and Maya was learning to evolve and grow and go through her ups and downs. And so I think it transformed me the most in regards to like I grew the most with her at the same time. You know, which I just have never gotten the opportunity to do with other characters. Other characters have had profound impacts on me, but it feels like Maya, we really went on a 7-year journey together. So that was most transformed. So for people that don't know, I shadowed, which means like for directing, I shadowed a director on Fire Country. And what really drew me to, it says, what drew you to shadowing on Fire Country? And was there something about the show that intrigued me? I mean, I think the obvious thing is it was a firefighting show. And I lived firefighting shows for years. And so I think that was the original thing I gravitated towards. It does a really good job with action, and I realized while directing and shadowing that I'm someone who really loves action. And I think it does a really good job of that on Fire Country. And, you know, the inside thing is that, you know, the showrunner is one of my dear, dear friends, Tia Napolitano. And so I just want to work with her selfishly any chance I can get, and get to kind of bring her words into, you know, on the screen, because I think she's so amazing and so talented. So I think there was multiple elements of it. And I think, you know, Jerry Bruckheimer produces some really great stuff. And so I think being a part of something that you know, JBT does would be really cool. So yeah, there's multiple elements about what intrigued me. I think it's a really fun show. I think it's got really fun dynamics. I think the characters are fun. I think the writing's fun. I think the action is fun. I guess the key word I'm saying here is fun. It just looks like it'd be a really fun yet challenging show to direct on. So yeah, that would be my reason. If I had to try a brand new sport I've never done before, what would it be? This is hard. For people that don't know this too, like I did everything growing up. I figure skated, played soccer, tried basketball, tried softball, gymnastics, dance, every type of dance, you know, tap, lyrical, point, hip hop, jazz. Like I did a lot. Tennis, golf, skateboarding, snowboarding, skiing, water skiing, snow skiing. Like I've done a lot. So it's hard to think what sport I would do that I haven't done before, but what I can say is, let me see if there's one that you know, funny enough, as I just said, my favorite sport is hockey, and I've actually never played hockey. I've never played hockey, I've never tried hockey. So maybe that would be fun, one to try, but I feel like I'm also at the age, the last thing I want to do is get, number one, hit by a hockey. Oh, surf. Yeah, surf. I did do surfing though. What am I talking about? When I did Summerland, I learned how to surf. I'm not good at it, but I learned how to surf. So yeah, I think hockey is the one thing I've never done. I just think it sounds like it would really hurt and be very hard. I feel like I'm at that age where I'm like, nah, like maybe not hockey anymore. But I have been of late really wanting to get back into tennis and golf. I think there's something that's really said about when you get older. Those sports are kind of nice to do. You get outside, you get a workout because sometimes sometimes I get bored with just doing the same old workouts. It'd be nice to kind of get out there. And golf, I guess, isn't. I mean, it's a workout, but you're not like getting your heart rate up too much. But tennis, yes. So those would be sports I'd want to get into. But hockey would be the one I've never done before. How does it? Oh, this is a great one. How does it feel to switch from working all the time with the same cast to not working with them anymore? It was hard. You know what's even weirder is just the kind of routine and the kind of pattern and just it's routine. It's your life. I'm going to work, 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week with the same crew, the same, cast, the same writers, the same producers, and really living life, getting to check in, how the kids did it. Like, it was such a shift to not have that anymore. And funny enough, it's almost hit me more now that it's part of our job, but to be again on a show for 7 years and to change it up, like it is part of our job. A lot of times you have, that's what this industry is you work with someone intimately for months, years, the whole thing, and then the whole point of the job is then you go, okay, bye, and you have these memories you cherish, but now you're just not because this industry is so fast moving, and you go off to I went off to shoot in Atlanta, and people went off to shoot other places, and it's just really hard to kind of try to get back to some sort of routine with the people from that. And I've always tried over the years, but it gets harder and harder. And when you start growing up and having even your own life outside of it, you're not young anymore, and that pulls you away too. It's really hard to just keep some sort of like connection, which really is so sad, but that's part of the industry. And then you run into each other at a convention or a red carpet event, and it's like no time has passed. So it's sad, it's weird, but it is part of the industry. And yeah, it's just something that this time, like I said, it's 7 years that I was in this, so it definitely is harder than other ones that have been 1-2 years. So yeah, let's see if there's any questions on here. Trying to look at. They go away fast too. Someone said, "What are you the most excited about with Brazil?" And I said, I said in my head, I was like, the fans. Like, the Brazilian fans are so passionate, and I've heard from so many, and I've only ever gotten to meet a very, very few at some of the conventions that I've been able to come, and it's gonna be really exciting to meet all the Brazilian fans. Advice for teens struggling with mental health is go easy on yourself. You're not alone. Our mental health is important. Feeling safe and protected is important. Our emotional well-being is important. You're not alone. Learn to find that self-worth and self-respect. And if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. It's extremely important to never feel like you're alone and know that you have people in your life you can reach out to. And, learning to really love ourselves and figure out how to gain self-worth and self-respect. It sadly, I think, especially as women, it takes time. Maybe from societal pressures, family pressures, but it feels like it's something that really takes time because there's all this media out there telling us we have to act a certain way, look a certain way, talk a certain way, and that can be really hard when you're like, I don't fit into that box. So it's hard. Being a teenager is hard. There's nothing easy about it. I try to tell people to live in the moment, though, because there's amazing memories that happen when we're younger, and yet we can't really live in the moment of them because we have the constant stress of comparison to other people, other things, and just try to live in the moment. Try to really enjoy it so that, you know, you can look back and remember those fond memories, and then really work on loving yourself. And knowing your own worth and knowing that you're enough. I always think that's very important. It's a lot to take in. It all takes work. It doesn't happen overnight. So yeah, and journal. Write it out. A lot of times in our heads we get wrapped up in things we're feeling and thinking, and the truth is once we put them on paper and get them out there, you realize like, okay, no, I was kind of spiraling out of control with that thought, that feeling. But it's go easy on yourself. Teens is a tough time between, you know, hormones and stress of, you know, moving into adulthood, and there's a lot of factors, so go easy on yourself. Hold on. I love puzzles. Yes, I do. I love puzzles. I love Alaska. I've been to Alaska. I absolutely love it. I went to Spencer Glacier, and I went to Fairbanks, and I went to Anchorage. I'm making sure I'm getting any questions. They go really fast, so I have to hold on to them. I feel like I'm going cross-eyed. How was cutting my hair on station? It was awesome. It was so nerve-wracking because we only had one take. And I remember they rolled the camera for the first take, and I actually said, wait, stop. And I just had to like take a couple breaths and do it again because I knew we only had one take, so I knew that I needed to just be mentally, because they were filming my face as well. I had to be not thinking about cutting my hair, but where my character was emotionally in that moment. Hello, France. I'm doing this like scroll thing slowly. Oh, geez, and then they go away so fast. My favorite place in Scotland is probably Isle of Iona. I really loved Isle of Iona when I went there. There's really nothing, I think, like it in the world, that one specific place, but I love Scotland. I love the north of Scotland and the Highlands. That's my favorite. It just feels like you're not here in this world. They happen so fast. If someone said, what was if I had a film, where in the world I'd want to film my next thing. It's interesting. I think it'd be really nice to film something in Europe, just so I can actually be there, really getting to it feels like every time I'm there, it's quick, you know, it's a quick amount of time, I kind of in and out, and I don't get to experience it. In this last summer, I got to really spend time in the south of France and just get to immerse myself in it for a couple weeks, and that felt really valuable. So it'd be nice to be able to work in Europe, to really be able to, this cowboy hat and mustache, and to be able to really get to just be there longer, get to meet locals and hang out and that kind of stuff, and not feel like I'm in a rush to kind of see all the things and do all the things. Let's see, another question. People want to know Ford's backstory and what made you decide to get him. His backstory. I feel like he's like a character. So Ford is my dog. Fordy, come here. Bubbles. 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 Come here. Come here. Come on. Say hi. Say hi to people. Come here. Can you say hi? I know. I'm tired today. Sorry, he's pulling my jacket. I'm sorry. Can't do that. He'll be here. So Ford's backstory is Kendall, who worked costumes on Station 19, was dog watching her friend's dog Birdie, who was an Australian Labradoodle that she got from Hunterberry Hill Labradoodles, and during the pandemic, Kendall wanted to get a Labradoodle herself, and so yeah, she said that there's some puppies that were available, and I was like, okay, and I put in an application and talked to the woman, and next thing you know, Ford and I were connected. But he is technically, his mix is Cocker Spaniel, Labrador, and Poodle. That's the proper mix. And yeah, he's named after Harrison Ford, and yeah, he's I love him. And I get really sad when I'm not with him. I'm trying to find ways that it's really fun when I get to travel in the United States, especially by RV or by trailer, more like driving places because I get to bring him. But traveling international, I think, is just too hard on a dog. It's just not fair to him as selfishly as I'd love to bring him with me. I'm just never in a place long enough to really let him kind of feel, dogs moving in planes and all that kind of stuff is, I think, pretty traumatizing. So, but he loved getting to go to Montana and Yellowstone and all that kind of stuff. So I love to get to take him when I can. What story would I tell? Let's see if you could. Whew, that's a good one too. What time are we at? I want to make sure I'm doing the quick round at some point. Petition for me to. Here's the thing: if we combine those two, if I were to work in Europe, I would bring Ford with me, and then Ford would get to be in Europe. That would be pretty epic. Would I cut my hair short again? Yes, I would. I would definitely cut my hair. Gosh, I see a question and I want to answer it, and I can't remember exactly what it was, and it's gone. I would definitely cut my hair again. I've always I always have a desire to cut it, color it, do something with it. I usually get talked out of it. That's why Station was so great, because I got to actually do it. The panic attack scenes, I'm so happy that they resonated with you. Those were really hard to shoot. Tom Verica was directing us, and they were just really hard scenes to shoot. I was actually, at the time, yeah, buddy, I know. Oh, yeah. Oh, hi. Like, he's just like, please scratch me. Yes. Those are really hard to see. I was actually, at the time, doing the egg retrieval process for Chris and Jake, so I was pumped full of hormones too. So it was funny because I think Stefania kind of reminded me the other day. You want to come here? Come here. This side? Come here. Want to lay? Stefania kind of reminded me that, I struggled with that scene in regards to, I kept doing it thinking, is that right? Is this right? Because the thing is as we go through panic attacks, you really don't know what's happening. That's the whole point of a panic attack. You kind of it's so physical. Your chest gets tight, and you just kind of, it's hard to try to replicate that, because it does feel, panic attacks do feel so physical as well as mental. So I kind of, it was a tough scene to shoot, but I'm glad it resonated with you so much. Okay. So weird, guys. Let's see what another question is. Here, I'll do this. There we go. And it's like that. Let's see. Italian food or chocolate? Chocolate. Hi, Kim. Contacts or glasses? My contact. I love wearing my glasses, but it's kind of like it's a little fun thing I get to do every once in a while. Let's see, what else? Oh gosh, it goes so fast. My favorite color is hunter green. It's a very specific green. I love it. For those that don't know, someone said my favorite ice cream flavor. The thing is I can't eat ice cream because I'm lactose intolerant. So, don't get me wrong, every once in a while I take the risk, but I do a lot of lactose-free ice cream and stuff like that. But I did, when I was in Europe, there was gelato sorbet, chocolate sorbet, which I loved, and I tried to have as much as I could. Someone said, did I wish Station 19 had another season? Yeah, I wish it had 10 more seasons. LA or Europe? Europe. I'm trying to see if I can... Yeah, I like cats. I don't think I'll ever own a cat myself, but I do like cats. I'm more of just a dog person in regards to owning a dog. I would love to visit Sicily one day. Just have to make it happen. I have been to Switzerland, and I absolutely loved it. I've been to Germany, but I will come back again. Oh man, this is hard to keep up with everything that's happening. Okay, just a little, they won't jump so fast. If you scroll up, oh, now I'm realizing that. 45 minutes in. Oh no, I did it and it still jumped down. Sorry. Whoever said that, I tried that tactic and it did it for a second and then it jumped back down again. It keeps jumping back down even when I scroll up. That's so silly. Let's see. What is that? What's that? Huh? Would I ever make another musical album? Probably not, but never say never. But probably not. I have that song coming out with Alex this year that I'm really excited for everyone to hear, but I will not be releasing a full album. I don't know what I just did, but I almost pressed something wrong, I think. Okay. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go back to the questions. I did a couple questions from here. Would I do Dancing with the Stars? Sure. I would be so nervous, but that'd be fun. The music video is going well for that song that we're releasing. It's just gonna take some time. It's getting a lot of people together, and people have schedules. Alex is performing and traveling, and the DP is also working on other projects. So we tried to do it before I left town, and now that I'm back, it's just been a little hard to get the logistics down, but we are gonna do it basically in August. So not basically in August, so that'll be fun to finally do. Bonnie We Lass, yes. I have not gone to Norway, but I really want to. I love Vancouver. Fire Country shoots in Vancouver, so every time I'm up there, and my first ever television show, Kaya, shot in Vancouver, as did Supernatural Bloodlines that I did. So I love getting the opportunity when I get to go to Vancouver. It's a beautiful, beautiful place in the world. Okay, so let me see. Would I ever act on stage at some point? Yeah, I would definitely act on stage. I would love to. I know it would probably be the scariest acting experience. But I would absolutely love to act on stage and do theater. So one day, that's definitely going to happen. That's a bucket list that is definitely going to happen. Oh, there's so many. Someone said if I could ever greenlight any female-led project, no budget, no limits, with total creativity and freedom, what story would I like to tell and why? I got really attached to the story about the female fighter pilots of World War II. And that was, I really got